Today's feature brand is Wet Sounds, and if you thought they only make speakers for boats, then look again, because on today's Connected, we're covering an entire collection of awesome products coming to you from the legendary brand. We've got their product expert, AJ, joining us to break it all down. This is CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM, all about Wet Sounds, and it starts now. What's going on, guys, and welcome to another CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu, and you are tuned in to CMA Networks, where we talk mobile electronics day in and day out. The feature brand today is Wet Sounds, a brand that started in the marine audio category, but now has certainly evolved to have offerings in all sorts of different categories, and we're going to go through a whole bunch of the new products that they have to offer today. Joining us now is AJ, their product specialist. AJ, welcome to the show. Can you give us an outline of what we're going to be chatting about on today's Connected?
Appreciate you having me today, Ben. We're going to go over a couple of things. I have some venue stuff out here, a new HTM lineup that we're going to go over, and our Zero speakers and some other stuff that we'll be talking about today.
All right, I can't wait to get into it. But first, an opportunity for our partner, SiriusXM, to remind you why it's always an awesome attachment sale. And when we come back, we're talking Wet Sounds in the mobile audio category. Don't you dare go away.
Hey, Paul here with SiriusXM, and I'd like to talk to you about attachment selling and why the SiriusXM product is one of the best things to add, especially since we don't trade dollars with any other category. I could go through all of this, but let's hear what some of our dealers have to say.
It's an easy add-on that takes, 10, 15 minutes if we're running an antenna, 1 minute if we've got an adapter to plug it into the factory SiriusXM antenna, and it's extra money, so no brainer.
I present it to every customer because a lot of customers don't know what all they can do with Sirius. They don't know what all content they could have. It just makes too much sense not to sell it.
It creates a different customer loyalty and customer security when you explain to them why it's a better experience. Just gets them back in the door, and then the next car, they're already asking for it again. So it just keeps selling itself. It makes more sense.
Well, there you have it. You heard from our dealers. Just remember some of the best practices. Make sure you have one on display so you can demo it. Make sure you're taking advantage of our rewards program, because if you're not taking advantage of that, you're leaving even more money on the table. Make sure you got our POP up on display. And other than that, just make sure you're recommending it.
All right, welcome back to Connected. We're on with AJ from Wet Sounds. AJ, man, welcome to the show. How you doing, man?
I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'll tell you what, I'm doing really good. We're excited. We got lots of products to talk to on today's show. We're going to start by getting to know, the evolution of Wet Sounds. A lot of people remember Wet Sounds when you guys got onto the scene. I think the soundbar category is definitely somewhere where, Wet Sounds made their name. And of course, you guys are really known for your Rev tower speakers. But since then, there's been an evolution into expanding into other categories, hasn't there?
Yeah, big steps in different directions.
Now, what do you think was the driving force behind that? Was there just simply a desire to offer that, premium Wet Sounds quality to more customers in different applications?
100%. To be able to be in the market for everything that has to do with your outside entertainment.
Amazing, amazing. Well, that's good news for us enthusiasts, because if you like the Wet Sounds in your boat, guess what? We're going to be talking about a whole bunch of products today that'll get that same signature sound for other applications, starting with the Zero speakers. Now, I remember when these speakers came out, the application was interesting, because now we're talking about a design that can go not just on boats, but many other applications. And there's certain design features that make that happen. So why don't you take it away and talk to us a little bit about these Zero speakers?
Well, one thing I like about them is the grill. If you notice, there's no screw holes in the grill whatsoever. So you mount the speaker, and then you're able to twist the grill on it, and you got a clean, flush look, no hardware visible. Another key feature that I really enjoy and I try to use in every application is the DT plug portion of it, instead of just using the standard terminals that that other speakers come with, which you got options for either one. Especially if you're doing multiple speakers, you can utilize one portion for one, and then you can daisy chain the rest with the additional tabs that you have.
One of the things when I first seen these Zero speakers is just how low profile they are. And I noticed they look like they have a neodymium magnet. Talk to me a little bit about the design and the performance of these speakers.
Going with the neodymium magnet was definitely one of the things that we wanted to go with, to keep the profile slim to where you could fit it in as many applications as possible, and still give you that power output of 100 watts when it comes to the 6s and then 150 when it comes to the 8s.
I think the name of the game here, AJ, is going to be about application and how many places you could put them. So talk to us a little bit about the sizes that are available and where do you see these speakers going? What kind of vehicles?
A lot of popular vehicles that I see these in are mainly side by sides. We do have a couple of different dimensions when it comes to options for speaker sizes: 5x7s, 6x9s, and of course our 8s and 6s. So there are many different options to fit in different applications, whatever you're trying to accomplish, and still get that performance out of your wet sound speaker.
All right, AJ. So that was the Zero speakers from Wet Sounds. We're going to move on to another important category, which I consider a really fun category because we're going to talk about some bass options, right? So I
Yeah.
see there in front of you, you've got some enclosures. Let's first start off with that giant one that's staring at us. Tell us about this huge enclosure that you have right there.
This enclosure we just came out with, it's a ported enclosure and it's designed to work with any of our 12-inch subwoofers that are meant to have an enclosure. It has, if you're familiar with our PSE setup, it still has that same mounting options down here at the bottom of the feet, so you can do a quick release. So that's a really cool feature I like, especially if you're putting in a location where you might need storage. You can just take the sucker out, unplug it, and then now you got your storage room back.
Now, the two things that really stand out for me here are A, the design. So I think that looks like, I mean, is that rotomolded? I'd like to understand the structural kind of design of that. And the other thing I want to understand is what kind of dimension are we talking about when we're looking at optimizing the right subwoofer to go into that enclosure?
Yeah, it is rotomold. It is a rotomold enclosure. So it's I want to say about the half-inch thick walls all the way around. So she's pretty sturdy. The internal airspace, you're looking at 1.8 cubic feet to work with our XXX or our Revo sub or even one of our 012 subs.
All right, so that basically could work on a boat, is what you're telling me. I mean, this thing is going to be completely sealed off for the elements.
Oh yeah, this is work in a boat, or if you got a side by side where you got a spot you can put it, and you can mount it in the back of the bed somewhere on one of the Rangers or whatever you got.
I kind of pictured two of those in the back of a flatbed of a Ranger. That'd be kind
There
of
you
crazy.
go. It's 2 or 3.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so that's the big one. And what's the model on that one?
This one is the ported 12 enclosure.
Ported 12 enclosure. Okay, now we're going to go from one extreme to the next. I noticed that right there you have a very compact enclosure. What can you tell us about that one?
This is coming out pretty soon. It's a 6-inch sub with its own rotomotor enclosure that's designed to fit in very slim locations. She's 75 watts RMS. It's a 4-ohm load. When you add multiple of these, it is impressive.
Now, you're going to say impressive. I'm looking at the size of that thing. That thing is tiny, and that's only, what, a 6.5-inch driver in there? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. 6.5-inch driver that's inside this tiny enclosure.
So why do you love this thing so much? Because I'm always, skeptical when I see small enclosures. Talk to me a little bit about your experience with this guy.
My experience with small enclosures, it works out perfectly for those that either one, they don't want to take up a lot of space and do a big subwoofer enclosure, and they're not really looking for that heavy pounding bass like myself would look for. This can be in an enclosed area, small, tiny. So if you don't have a lot of spaces to put something, we have a solution for you. And especially if you're doing multiple throughout your boat or throughout your setup, now you got a pretty good bass response throughout your whole application.
Right. And does it come with a waterproof connector and brackets as well?
It comes with mounting hardware where you're able to mount it 2 different ways. The feet attached at the bottom. It's got a marine grade DT plug on the side, so it's definitely meant to be in the elements.
All right, so if you're just tuning in, we're covering with AJ from Wet Sounds a couple cool new products coming to you from Wet Sounds. We've covered the Zero speakers, which are great applications, slim profile, lots of power handling, as well as some sub enclosures, both in a 12-inch variety as well as a compact version as well. Now we're going to switch it up and talk about some power. Now, some of you might be familiar with the previous HTX line of amplifiers from Wet Sounds. Well, guess what? They've come to the market with a brand new revamp series called the HTM. I'm going to pass it over to AJ here to tell us all about it.
All right, so we're going to be talking about the HTM lineup that we have that just came out. We have one channel that can be high pass and low pass, and then we have a few multi-channels that, of course, have those same features. When it comes to the mono block, at 4 ohms, it does 500 watts. At 2 ohms, it does 800 watts. And at 1 ohm, it does 1200. When it comes to the multi-channels, all across the board, they're identical. 85 watts at 4 ohms all across the board, 150 watts at 2 ohms, and then bridge 300 watts at a 4 ohm load. And that's going to pretty much be the same consistency through all the 4-channel, 6-channel, and 8-channel.
Now, first of all, AJ, if you don't mind holding one up, I mean, these things look absolutely gorgeous. So talk to me a little bit about the difference here. What are the improvements here that have been made over its previous predecessor?
Well, from the previous, they are a smaller footprint. So now they're a little bit more compact, so you can pretty much put them wherever you like, whether it's a boat, side by side, or a party cooler. Uh, One of the key features that, of course, we still have from the predecessor is our input mode. To whether if you're just putting in, let's say you're doing 0.6s all across the board, you just have to set one set of channels into the input, set it on 2-channel mode. Of course, you adjust each one, but you only got to worry about sending one set of RCAs to it, and it will power everything.
Oh,
Now, of course,
okay.
if you're doing multiple zones, then you would put it on its corresponding 4-channel mode or 8-channel mode or 6-channel mode, and then you independently need to send signal to each channels or each of your zones.
Now, in terms of durability, I would only imagine that these, of course, are built for the elements.
Yes, 100%. They're all IP67 rated. They're meant to be in the elements. Yes.
Now, the next product we're going to discuss is going to be a little bit of a curveball for you guys, because if you didn't know, Wet Sounds came up with a really cool series called the Venue Series. What is the Venue Series? This is meant for outdoor entertainment experience. But hey, we're going to take a look at these cool new products from Wet Sounds and get AJ to describe them all.
Today we're going to go over our venue series, a lineup that's designed and meant for your patio entertainment. That's what we made it for, so you can have your outdoor parties to be as loud as you are in the water or on the trails. When it comes to our tower solution, we have a Venue 8 that has an 8-inch driver with a HLCD horn loaded on it and 2 passives, one on top and one on the bottom. This speaker is 200 watts RMS. We have its counterpart, looks similar, but it's a 6x9 with only one passive that's meant to be mounted more so in the landscape application, where the 8 is meant to be mounted up high on your pergola, on your awning, somewhere where it's going to be out of the rain pretty much. You don't want water to pull up on your passive. We also have an in-wall ceiling 6-inch. That's an 8 ohm application, 50 watts RMS. When it comes to mounting it, once you get your diameter cut out in your ceiling, it's just these locking tabs that slide open to lock it in place. No more additional holes needed. When it comes to the amplifier to power all of our stuff, the Venue 1200 does 200 watts per channel at a 4 ohm load, 300 watts per channel at a 2 ohm load, and is very versatile to where you can run different applications of the speakers or sub enclosure, which I don't have here to show, but it's a big enclosure to where the one you want to put it inside the ground. It does have a port that sticks up. That way, of course, it's vented. Or you can put it in some kind of planter box just to, of course, make it easy on the eyes when it's out in the patio.
AJ, that was really cool talking to us about the Venue Series. But now we're going to talk about another new product, which is totally different. Now we're going to get into the world of power sports, and we're talking about, of course, side-by-sides. And Wet Sounds came up with a new series called the AR5 Audio Roofs. What can you tell us about these two new products?
The audio roofs are definitely the first of their kind. They're impressive. Installation is super easy. Now, of course, it is a big and bulky roof. You will need at least an extra hand to get it onto your side-by-side. When it comes to the AR roof, it already has a 4-channel amplifier that's already mounted inside it to run all 4 speakers plus your subwoofer. The 4-channel amp is pretty much situated to where your front 6s are on one channel and your front 8s, and then your rear 8s are on another channel. And then the sub is bridged on channels 3 and 4, letting it run everything off of 1 amp. It is designed to where you can add a secondary amp, a secondary 2-channel that we have available. That is a 250 by 2 at 4 ohms, a 370 by 2 at 2 ohms, or 740 bridge at 4 ohms. So if you wanted to add more bass, or if you wanted to add additional speakers, or if you wanted to add additional towers, you have a secondary spot for an amp to do so.
Wow, AJ, those are really impressive units. I mean, anybody who's looking for a serious sound from above situation, I think this is it right there. But here's what we need clarity for. what are the exact applications? Because I'm not a huge connoisseur when it comes to all the different models, but I do know that the different models have certain things about them. So where do these fit?
We have an AR roof that will fit, of course, your Polaris Ranger 4-seater, and then our AR roof that will fit a Can-Am Defender 4-seater.
Okay, now what about the limited editions? Does that have any? Is there anything about that we need to know?
The limited on the Can-Am side of things, we do have a process. There is an additional hardware, a hinge that you can purchase if it is a limited application. Due to, of course, they have power windows, they have wipers and whatnot that's in there. There are some modifications that need to be done. We have a walkthrough for that and a breakdown on what's needed to be done and what you might have to order, because you do have to order a replacement tube for the windshield wiper fluid to extend a little bit. But I got all that information in the walkthrough that I have on our website.
All right. Now, what about the other limited application? Anything
When
else we should know?
when it comes to the Ranger side of things,
Right.
there have been installs. They have been installs done on the limited editions. Us personally, I have not got a chance to make a walkthrough for it, but it is in the things to do to get situated so we can have that for our dealers and customers that are tackling it.
All right. So coming soon. Thanks. Great info. Thank you, AJ. I want to take this opportunity and thank our special guest AJ from Wet Sounds on coming on to giving us all this cool info about new Wet Sounds products. Now, of course, if you're looking to get more details, maybe the specs or the application, I do encourage you to head on over to the Wet Sounds website and find out more. Now, if you happen to be a dealer in Canada and you want to be an authorized Wet Sounds dealer, make sure that you connect with our good friends over at ImportTel, as they are the official Canadian distributor for all things Wet Sounds. Now, my takeaway from this is just impressive to see how a brand like Wet Sounds has certainly evolved with the times, starting in a very niche category, but being innovators in stuff like soundbars and wake tower speakers to really offering a full, complete line that dealers can really dig into, especially when it comes to all-weather applications such as power sports or even motorcycle. So take a closer look at Wet Sounds, whether you're doing a party in the backyard, in your side-by-side, and of course on your boat. Certainly, this brand has something perfect for you. That's it for this CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.